A new study from Bankrate.com shows nearly 4 out of every 10 Americans has credit card debt equal or greater than their emergency savings. And that means many people are just one bump away from a financial disaster. But there are some ways to turn that around. Andy Kemp from Forefront Credit Union joins us live in the studio. Andy, thanks so much for being here. Boy, you have a real knack for taking things that are complicated to people that are not financially savvy and making them very understandable to us. All right, so we want to talk a little bit about consolidating our debt. How do we go about consolidating our debt?
To consolidate your debt, the first thing you're going to do is have to get an understanding of what debt you have.
Right.
And you're going to have to look at where you're spending it, who you're spending it to, and actually how long you have left on that debt.
Okay.
If you have a lot of little debts, then it makes sense just to pay them down faster. Or if you have a lot of debts out there that might be there for a while, it could make sense to bring them all into one loan.
And really, when we're talking about debt, like I'm not putting words in your mouth, but some debt isn't bad. Like you have a mortgage on your house.
Right.
That's not as bad as, let's say, a credit card debt.
Correct.
So is there good debt and bad debt?
There is. A mortgage is a normal debt. Okay. Most people have a mortgage, car debt. Most people have a car loan. Once you start getting into credit card debt, once you start getting into maybe some other just unsecured loans that you get because, say, you gambling problems, some people have, stuff like that, that's when people start getting over their head. And that's when we start looking at consolidating debt and getting that put together into one loan to start getting it paid down. The key, though, is if you do that, you need to make sure you're not going back out and getting more credit card debt or more unsecured loans.
Right, robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of thing. So what do I do if I'm already behind on one of those debts? If I have taken out loans or I owe people money and suddenly I'm behind on at least one of them?
And we have a lot of people like that. And it gets embarrassing for a lot of people, and they don't want to address it. The most important thing is talk to your lender. Okay. Talk to them right up front and be honest. Tell them the exact situation and say, this is what I can do, and this is where I'm at. And the lenders, trust me, we do. We want to help you out. Right. It behooves us and it behooves you to be able to do that. So talk to your lender, and then you guys can come to an agreeable solution to be able to fix the problem.
So you're saying if somebody calls up a lender, that's not the first time the lender has gotten that phone call.
And we'd rather you call us than us have to call you.
You have to call. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so how do we start the process?
The process for the consolidating the debt would be call your lender, and then they will look and work with you, look at your credit report and say, okay, these are the debts that we have out there. Okay. And then once you have an understanding of the debt, say, okay, based on your income, based on what you can afford, we can put these all into one loan. And then when you put that into one loan, quite often you can get a lower interest rate because we'll be paying off some credit card debt and we'll be paying off other things, and we have it in one spot, which really helps a lot of people because then they're just paying one lender. And they don't have to worry about paying the 4 or 5 different other people and cutting a lot of different checks. They can pay one lender, one lump sum, and be done. And
that's probably emotionally satisfying
too.
You
feel a lot better.
You know, instead of oftentimes if we go through and say, well, I owe this and I owe that, and can the lender help us prioritize? We may think, well, I don't owe very much on this one, so I'm going to pay this one off, when really that may not be the best approach. Can the lender help us prioritize?
We can absolutely, and we love to talk to members when they come in about that and do exactly that. A little bit of financial planning, and we're not licensed financial planners, but we can help you go through it because we see it. We do it for a living, and we can help you fit through what is the best plan for you and what debts should we pay off, which ones are good to have out there for a while and keep paying on.
All right, so once we have this plan, once we've come in, we've figured out this consolidation plan, some tips to get us out of debt quicker. Is there anything we can do once we've got that plan?
There are, especially with the consolidation, because quite often it will lower your payment. But if you could afford the payment already, make the higher payment, and you're going to get that paid off that much faster. So you're going to have a lower interest rate and usually a longer amortization, but then you'll be able to pay it off faster by paying just that little extra. And that little extra, you'll be surprised how quickly that pays down the debt.
And again, with most of the things that we talk about money, the worry of what if and the worry of not knowing may actually be taking a bigger toll on us than actually coming in and addressing this issue.
Absolutely. Yep.
Andy, thanks so much.
Mark.
Debt consolidation is just one way to get a handle on your monthly bills by bringing all of your loans into a single loan, usually with that lower interest rate. Consolidation isn't the best option for everyone, so talk to your financial institution to see if it could work for you. Andy, thanks for being here.